Tracking storms with the Valley's only live million-watt radar. Covering the heart of the Valley. This is WAFF 48 News Today.
In our morning headlines, another Franklin County teacher is arrested for having sex with a student. Deputies arrested Brian Keaton yesterday. He teaches math and is the boys basketball coach at Vina High School.
In just a few hours, testimony resumes in Zackawanda Moss's murder trial, day number 3. Prosecutors say Moss and another man killed 5 people and an unborn baby last year. And today we are hearing from the Montgomery police officer who quit after being caught on tape drag racing while in uniform.
Good morning and thank you for joining us on this Thursday morning. I woke up thinking it was Friday. That's the worst thing to do.
It is. Well, maybe it's the cold. We can blame it on the cold right now, that it kind of breaks that synapse there as far as deciding what's going on.
But I hear meteorologist Jeff Castle has a warmer forecast.
I do, definitely. We have a cold morning this morning, though, that we have to get through. In fact, it is colder out the door this morning than it was this time yesterday. So as you head out, you need the coat, you need the gloves, but later this afternoon, might be able to get by with just a jacket or a sweater. Temperatures are going to start warming up later on today. Decatur, though, we've got the calm wind this morning at Pryor Field. Skies are clear. And the temperature's 20 degrees now. Might actually hit the upper teens in a few spots before the morning is out, so get ready for a cold start. At least we don't have the breeze blowing like we did yesterday morning, so that wind chill negligible as you head out this morning. Sunshine back in our forecast today, and as the wind turns to the south and the southeast, that's going to start to bring in some milder weather for us later on today. We're up to near freezing around 8 o'clock. We'll go 33 on average, 51 degrees your temperature around the noon hour, and for the afternoon hours, we'll be a little bit warmer, still below average for this time of year, but we are expecting to hit the mid-50s for your highs a little bit later on this afternoon. I'll be back in a moment. 60s return for the weekend, but so does the chance for rain. I'll be tracking that wet weather and your weather on the 10s.
Back to that developing story in Vina. For the second time in less than a week, police arrest a high school coach for having sex with a student. WAFF 48's Lauren Morrison has the latest on this arrest. Lauren?
Today, for the second time in less than a week, our Marie Waxel will once again sit down with Franklin County School Superintendent Gary Williams to talk about allegations that a second Vina High School teacher had sex with a student. This is 38-year-old Brian Keaton. He's a math teacher and the boys basketball coach at Vina High School. He's been at the school for 2 years. Franklin County Sheriff Shannon Oliver says the 17-year-old victim told investigators about the alleged encounter. Once again, Marie Waxel will be on this story first thing this morning, asking what these allegations mean for the school district. Tiani?
Last week, police arrested Vina PE teacher Sonny Tibbs on charges of having sex with a 17-year-old student on multiple occasions. He's now on paid leave. The investigation will continue today into a Limestone County principal. Mickey Glass leads the Limestone County Career Tech Center. The Limestone County Sheriff and the FBI are looking into the tech center's finances. An auditor will evaluate the school's money and will issue a report to the school board. Superintendent Dr. Tom Sisk says Glass has not been charged with anything and won't be until all the facts are in. For now, he is on paid leave.
It is 5:03 right now. New this morning, an Arkansas teenager involved in a custody battle could be headed to Alabama. Police issued an Amber Alert for 13-year-old Kimberly Nussey. She was last seen November 11th in Camden, Arkansas. Nussey wore a gray cap with the letter A on it, along with a gray tank top with dogs on it and purple pants. She is 5'8", 140 pounds, and has black hair and brown eyes. And she is believed to be with her uncle, Philip Nussey Jr. That's his picture on the right. Police say she may have been taken against her will and is believed to be in danger. If you see them, call 911. This morning, 2 people are still in the hospital after a 2-car crash last night in Guntersville. It wrecked on Highway 227 near Gordon Street. MedFlight took 1 victim to the hospital. An ambulance took the second person to Marshall Medical Center South. Police don't know yet what caused that crash. In about 4 hours, testimony resumes in Zackawanda Moss's murder trial. He is charged with killing 6 people in Alabama and Tennessee last year. WAFF 48's Muriel Bailey joins us now with today's update. Muriel?
Well, Jim, it's day 3 and we expect to hear more witnesses testify. Yesterday, the testimony focused on one man. Prosecutors say Warren Crutcher was the common denominator for all these murders. He was also one of the victims. Yesterday, the prosecution called to the stand a former drug partner of Crutcher's and his mother. Prosecutors say his drug partners, Moss and Henry Burrell, who is the second man charged in this, turned on him. They wanted to rob him and kill everyone he knew. Now, the last time Crutcher was seen alive was in a white rental car. An employee of the rental car company took the stand as well.
Did it have any bullet holes in it?
No.
Okay. Did it have any blood stains inside it?
No, ma'am.
Did it have any blood stains on the outside of it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did it have any significant damage of any kind to it?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
We're in the courtroom again today, and we'll have an update at noon. You can also follow our live blog at WAFF.com. Reporting live in the newsroom, Muriel Bailey, WAFF 48 News.
In Florence, police are offering a reward for information in a murder investigation. Someone shot and killed Eric Watkins on Sunday night. Police found his body in his car parked in front of a building on Marion Avenue. Police are offering a reward of up to $2,500.
The DeKalb County Sheriff's Department want you to look out for this man, Travis Townsend. Sheriff Jimmy Harris says he shot a man on Tuesday. That man is in stable condition. If you have any information on Townsend, call the Sheriff's Department. A Jackson County man says he'll remove his wife's body from his front yard tomorrow. James Davis lost a lengthy court battle to keep his wife Patsy buried in the front yard of their Stevenson home. Davis says it was her dying wish. Under an agreement, the casket and vault will be removed. Davis will cremate his wife and place her urn inside his home. We looked into the laws that cover home burials, and we found it's not necessarily illegal, but the person making the request has to meet certain requirements. First, to bury a loved one on private property, you have to apply for a cemetery license. The application will go to a probate judge, the county commission, or mayor, depending on where you live. The city or county will then refer the application to the Board of Health to make sure the burial won't cause any health problems. After that, they can either approve or deny the application. Today, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal is in the Rocket City. He's the speaker for the Alabama Policy Institute's annual banquet. The event starts at 7 o'clock tonight. Today, the GeoEnergy Cyber Huntsville Summit starts. The name represents Mayor Tommy Battle's 3 economic development initiatives. The summit's theme is technology supporting our national security and energy independence. Organizers hope the summit will allow businesses from startups to contractors to grow a network. It runs through tomorrow at the Davidson Center at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. The time now is 5:07. Police are investigating a Florida State football player with Alabama ties. We'll tell you why at 5:18.
And at 5:13, new video this morning of that deadly typhoon as it slammed into the Philippines.
We got a cold start here on your Thursday morning. A little frost on the car windshields. There's a live view with our Alpha camera at Athens. You can see just a little light frost on the cars here as we zoom in on our Alpha camera. Might have to get out there and at least turn the defrost on, maybe get out with the scraper for just a few minutes this morning. It is cold, 26 degrees in Athens this morning. Back in a moment, I'm tracking a warming trend and weekend rain chances coming up in your weather on the 10. Stay with us.
Tracking storms with the Valley's only live million-watt radar, covering the heart of the Valley. This is WAFF 48 News Today.
When I came up from around where she lives, I could just see the yellow tape. And I just got out the car and started screaming. I didn't know what was going on.
A mother chokes back tears talking about her murdered daughter. This is in the Zacuana Moss murder trial. Today, we will hear more testimony and a little something different there because we're so used to court cases here in Alabama where we can't bring cameras into the courtroom.
Exactly.
So we are allowed to do that here in Tennessee. We'll bring you more of that. Also, live blogging this morning. We'll explain more of that coming up in just a few minutes.
That's right. But first, we want to get you out the door. It's cold outside. You might want to just stay in bed today.
Sounds like a good idea.
Exactly.
What do you say, Jeff?
I say that's a good idea. It is cold out there this morning, so if you have to venture out, just make sure you're ready for it. Temperatures down into the upper 20s to near 30, and it feels colder. Still have a breeze in many places, around 5 to 10 miles per hour at times, and that is producing wind chills down into the low end of the 20s. Muscle Shoals right now, we're right at the 30-degree mark, have a clear sky here, and actually at last check, the wind was calm, but that's the exception and not necessarily the rule. So do expect a little bit of a breeze out there this morning. You'll need the heavy coats, the gloves, all that good winter weather gear as you head out this morning. And probably will be wearing it much of the day. It is going to be a chilly day for us. The wind will die down a bit throughout the day, but we're certainly looking at temperatures well below average for this time of year. 32 and sunny at 8, 43 and sunshine at the noon hour. We'll stay mainly sunny this afternoon with temperatures topping out in the mid-40s a little bit later on today. It does warm up by the end of the week, and the weekend we'll talk about that and your next chance for rain coming up in your weather on the 10s.
All new this morning, a Huntsville woman says that someone fired shots into her apartment around 2:30 this morning in the 100 block of Winchester Road. No one was hurt, but officers found several bullet casings inside her apartment, and police are now looking for the shooter.
Now back to the Zacawanda Moss murder trial in Lincoln County. Yesterday, prosecutors described the brutal scene at the homes where the victims' bodies were found. They told the jury the killings were over drugs, money, and Warren Crutcher, the father of 2 of the victims' children. Moss lowered his head when the mothers of his alleged victims took the stand and talked about the moment they knew something was horribly wrong.
When I came up from around where she lives, I could just see the yellow tape. And I just got out the car and started screaming. I didn't know what was going on.
I called her and I couldn't get a hold of her. So I went to her house looking for her because she wouldn't answer the phone. And when I got to the house, I looked in and the house was destroyed.
Shabria Campbell, who is 7 months pregnant, was found tied up and strangled in a bathtub. Her 1-year-old son, Rico Ragland, was found dead in the living room. Amber McCauley was found in the garage, shot in the head. And a few miles away, Jessica Brown was also found strangled, bound, and placed in a bathtub. Our Margot Gray will be inside the courtroom this morning and will update us throughout the day on our live blog on WAFF.com. Also today in court, a judge will formally charge a Shoals man for capital murder. Hamajin Grisham is accused of killing his ex-wife this summer. Colbert County investigators found Jessica Broadfoot stabbed to death in a wooded area in Cherokee. Grisham is in jail without bond. Today, a Limestone County judge will sentence convicted rapist Austin Smith Clem. A jury convicted him of first-degree rape. He had sex with a girl between 16 and 12 years old in 2007 and forcibly raped her in 2011.
It is 5:33 right now. This morning, we will be getting more information from the Philippines about just how many people died after the typhoon there. Right now, officials are saying just over 1,800, and the damage is heartbreaking, especially for Miss Philippines Jasmine Sabio, a Huntsville native and student at the University of Alabama. She's helping her country from thousands of miles away. And Sabia is doing everything she can to help her homeland recover from the typhoon. About 75% of her family still lives there. She talked with some relatives, but she hasn't been able to reach others.
How difficult is it not knowing how your family's doing?
Right now, I don't even want to say what I think is probably happening. Just any kind of communication would be nice.
Sabio says she is in the beginning stages of fundraising right now, and she's hoping that the country will get back on its feet.
You can donate money to help the Philippines, but you need to make sure you're not getting scammed.
Well, WAFF 48's Muriel Bailey explains how you can make sure your donation goes to the right place. Muriel?
Well, Jim and Tiani, when you give, you want that money to make a difference, but you have to make sure you're giving it to a reliable place. Just like with any donation, the Better Business Bureau wants you to do your homework before donating to help the people in the Philippines. They say scam artists are always lurking when there's a disaster, so you should take some time to check out organizations before you donate. Plus, there's one thing to remember if you're donating online.
Make sure that you're careful about how they're going to collect your funds. If you're going to make a donation, these days a safe way to do that is to use your credit card. So if you do find out there's an issue, you can work with your financial institution to dispute that.
Now, before you contribute, make sure you know the full name of the charity, ask for something in writing, and check with the BBB to see if they have evaluated the organization. Now, we have more tips and helpful information attached to this story on WAFF.com. Live in the newsroom, Muriel Bailey, WAFF 48 News.
Doctors say the vaccine will prevent HPV. A pair of sisters say it only made them infertile. WAFF 48's Lauren Morrison joins us with a closer look at the HPV vaccine controversy this morning. Lauren?
Jim, over the last 7 years, the CDC estimates around 57 million people got the HPV or human papillomavirus vaccine. Experts say the shots prevent certain types of cancer caused by the virus. But these two Wisconsin sisters say they got the vaccine only to have their ovaries shut down, and they believe the shot caused it. UAB's Dr. Thomas Broker says since these two women are sisters, the cause of their infertility is more likely a genetic disorder, but the sisters told their local newspaper that all of their genetic tests came back negative. Despite that, Dr. Broker stands by the vaccine. He says the most common side effect from the shot is a sore arm.
It's been used in millions and millions of people around the world with essentially no unexpected or unusual or abnormal or serious effects.
Now, the Wisconsin sisters have filed a federal claim against the makers of the vaccine. The case is scheduled for a hearing in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. Jim?
Inside our schools, one of these 5 finalists will be the next superintendent of Muscle Shoals Schools. The finalists are Dr. Jason Adkins of Jasper, Dr. Brian Lindsay of Tuscumbia, Dr. Craig Ross of Daphne, Dr. Camille Wright of Madison, and Dr. Jason Wright of Opelika. You can read more about those finalists on our website at WAFF.com. It is 5:37 right now. With several mass shootings recently, many people want to know how to protect themselves in a worst-case scenario. The state ABC conducted an active shooter training class in Priceville yesterday. The students included law enforcement and business owners.
The ABC Law Enforcement Division has taught us that we need to run, hide, and fight. And they've given us some tools through this training to help us survive an active shooter training.
Organizers say they plan to hold more of these active shooter training classes in the near future. Coming up on 5:38 right now, a Montgomery police officer is off the job because of a YouTube video. At 5:43, see what he did that could have him facing charges.
And at 5:47, hear how a dog saved his owner's life after a skiing accident.
Well, cold start as you head out on this Wednesday morning, but it's a quiet beginning to the day. Here's a live view with our Alpha camera in Huntsville. Nice clear sky out there. We'll see plenty of sunshine once it comes up here over the next 45 minutes or so. I'll be back in a moment. I'll let you know when the temperatures are going to start to warm back up. Coming up in your weather on the 10. Stay with us.